And good evening. Welcome to the Deltahead stream. I am James Howell, and tonight, it's 9:14 p.m. on 9/14/2022. How about that? Tonight we're going to do part 2 of Fatal Frame 4 Mask of the Lunar Eclipse on Wii, a hard-patched backup of the game to include the English fan translation. Which is going to be kind of a novelty as a streaming, as a streamed game fairly soon, because as if summoned by the very fact of streaming this game, a localized, an official loc of this game has been announced at Nintendo Direct to land stateside in 2023, and I'm extremely happy to see that. I think that's something that will be very cool, is having streamed this, to be able to take this experience, and when that game comes out, it might be cool to have a stream where there's kind of a side-by-side comparison of looking at the two, see what, if any, mechanics were changed in the shift from Wii to Switch, and also to kind of see how the fan translation differs from an actual full-on loc, in kind of a side-by-side screen comparison. So that's very exciting for me, because I like. Loc is really interesting, and I like that. So that's very cool. Pardon me for the first 5 minutes here. I have a lozenge in my mouth because here in Seattle it has been very smoky over the past, I want to say, week, which is difficult to exist within because this is not an area made with air conditioners. It's an area made for open windows during the summer, so breeze can flow through. It's also made for summers that are a little less hot than this. So, as a result, all the windows have been shut. It is very hot. My throat is very scratchy because there's the detritus from forest fires in my throat. And that's no fun. I am not shy to tell you. But, pre-game show, oh man. I made project on Mozart's K333 and kept trying to get a performance of the first 30 seconds. Evening, Space Hamlets. Good to see you. I'm glad that you're able to pop by, even if it's only for a moment. It's always a pleasure to have you around. I have a podcast thing that I want to talk to you about that I think that you will be interested in. Elden Ringley. So yeah, let's. I keep forgetting to bop you on the head on Discord and get your attention, but now I've done it. So anyway, yeah, so I tried to get a recording of that, but there is this one part that is very tricky in bringing Mozart over to the banjo, because one of the things that Mozart really likes to do is he is on one side of the keyboard, and he's like, you know what would be really fun being over there? So he's like, all the way up, and on the piano it's very fun, because it's like you're taking your fingers for a walk. You just kind of go along all the white keys all the way to the top, maybe your occasional sharp, depending upon the key that you're in. On banjo, this is very different, because you can, in fact, start on one end, or one side of the neck, and just kind of slide it all the way up. But the problem is, on the piano, you're hitting discrete notes all the way up, and the effect of that little is that you are hitting discrete notes, not you are hitting every half note on the way, which is what you do when you slide your finger up a string. So trying to find a workaround for that takes advantage of the sliding. I actually don't have the speed, the playing speed, to be able to hit all those notes. So finding a way to compromise to work around my speed, to work around the banjo's limitations, and I have a solution. It took a few days, but I have a solution, but I want to be able to play it right before I show it off. So. And this is one of the reasons why I really like learning this music, is because finding ways of adapting music meant to play on one instrument onto another is a lot of fun. It's a great mental exercise, and it gets those parts of the brain that are always sort of chewing on rhythms and chewing on ways of adapting sounds into other sounds. It gives that a release, and that's very cool. No, the thing that I have to show you for sure is a very exciting thing. So, this is a shortwave radio. You might see. Yes, this right here. You might recognize these from Silent Hill. If you are not, if you are not of the generation that might have used these. And there is a shortwave station called WWV that operates out of Fort Collins, Colorado. There's a WWV something else that operates out of Honolulu. These are official timekeeping stations, and I would not be able to pull it up right now because there's too much electronic interference that would distort the signal. But essentially, it is a shortwave broadcast radio channel that for Universal Standard Time, and it has announcements of space weather and things like that at the 18-minute mark. And so I've been listening to this. I find it very soothing, and it turns out that this radio station has a phone number that apparently millions of people dial into every day, and this is wild to me. And if you dial into it, it will play that it will play that audio that is being broadcast over shortwave for only 2 minutes, and then it forces a disconnect. And let's see, where are you? There we go. The only call to Denver, Colorado I have made maybe ever. Let's see.
Coordinated Universal Time.
And what you're hearing there, that little ring in between the tick, 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 apparently that is a sound that certain machines use to calibrate their own internal clocks. So when they hear a pulse on that register, then they know to adjust something inside. So this is a channel that actually has a public function. Let's see. See if we can get the announcement again.
At the tone, 4 hours, 22 minutes. Coordinated Universal Time.
So yeah, it cuts it off at 2 minutes because they don't want people hogging the line. Apparently, people will just call and leave it running. And I sympathize, again, because I find the shortwave station very refreshing. A lot of the beeps and the more abrasive tones are actually smoothed out by the static of a shortwave connection. So the shortwave experience really is the ideal one, is what I will sell you on. But if you want to find out, if you want to look up WWV phone number, there's a phone number on a U.S. government website that looks like it was last updated in 1998 and is still current, because the National Institute of Standards, well, I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? They don't change. And if you want some extra cool stuff that I learned through the NIST, is how tape measures are quality controlled. This is fascinating. There are 60-meter tunnels underground with lasers and metrologists who use lasers to precisely count to measure how wide inches are on tape measures, so every inch is in fact the same as every other inch. It's the whole new world that my mind has been opened up to because of this channel. But with that in mind, we can go ahead and jump into Fatal Frame. Shogi, it's good to see you. Oh, that's amazing. I didn't know you were at the Shogi tournament. Congratulations. Did you win? maybe that's not like a yes or no question. Maybe like, how many degrees did you win? How far up did you get? Because I'm sure you won. Let me get the iPad up. I'm glad you stopped by. I was thinking about you and Shogi earlier today. And how I miss it. Oh wow. Sounds exciting, man. And for a moment of feedback here, do you hear a slight hum or a buzz in the background? And is it annoying? Because I have a fan running, again, because it's uncomfortably hot in here. And that's particularly fascinating for me because I've seen you play and I've seen you teach others, and so the notion that you would be bested is kind of stunning. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, like, it's a new source of noise, so I haven't adjusted any of the filtering. Give me 1 second. I'll redirect it away from the microphone. And if nobody has played Shogi with Shogi Explained, you're missing out. It's a good time. He will very directly tell you when a teaching moment is happening, and when he's giving you an opportunity to learn because he sees the opportunity to win. It's a great experience. Oh, right. Let me turn the audio back on here. Hold on. No way. Oh, mouse is upside down. There we go. There we go. Yep. Well, I'm glad that a little bit later than 95, but I'm glad that Shogi has been brought to the Seattle area nonetheless. Really? Like, strategically different. I would have assumed that, hold on. Do we like this better? What's going on with you? Maybe I need to back up away from this thing. How does this work? This is unexpected. I know, right? I mean, the thing was, it was working great last time I streamed, and if it doesn't work here, it's certainly not going to work in the game. Let's see, let's try something. Do you mean they don't play it because it requires too much work to get the information and then implement it, or to conceptualize the theoretical stuff? Evening, Dustin. Yes, you are welcome. I am glad that other people will be able to play this game without having to go through the rigmarole that I did, which you are seeing the curtain pulled back on here. This is something baffling. This is the homebrew force loader boot program that I need to use to run the backed up and hard patched copy of the game. Huh. Alright. Give me 1 second. Let me try putting this on a book or something. like doing this a little bit better. And also, try to unplug that and plug it back in case the sensor is the issue. Okay, so we're just gonna do this here. Just wipe the slate clean. For presentation's sake, I do like to start on the title screen and then go straight into the game, rather than go through the oh right, it doesn't like resetting from that program. Rather than go through the whole process of looking at emulation menus. But this is where we are. All right. Okay. That's better. Do you want to be, like, pushed really far back? What is your deal? Okay. We're getting something. Okay, catching up on chat here. All right, kick ass. Dustin, I don't know the general reception around this game. My interest in it is peaked, besides the fact that I like Fatal Frame a lot. I'm also a huge fan of Grasshopper Manufacture. This is actually a really interesting game to play side by side with the Silver Case, because many of Suda's and Grasshopper's sort of unifying images, the images that recur across different games that they make, show up also in here, and many of the same themes, like dissolution of identity and sort of like circular history and things like that. Taco Task Force, it's great to see you, man. Shogi, that's very funny. Excuse me. I would love to talk with you more about that and find out more about that. Let's see, Chapter 1, Chapter 11. Okay. Oh, clear. Okay, good. Yep. Yep, ghostbusting is a solid good time. And hey, you know what? We're getting new ghostbusting and Monkey Island in fairly short order. So it's a good moment, isn't it? I believe we watched a little bit of this at the end of the last stream. I've got to say the sound design is spot on for Grasshopper. I don't know how well it comes through over stream, but over headphones, it's definitely powerful. Let's see. Very crisp. A lot of different registers of crackling, moving back and forth across the stereo a lot. Oh, I was actually just talking about the soon-to-be release of this game to Western markets on Switch. I did not know they were developing a PvP Ghostbusters. Like everything technical would be solved and comfortable by like the first hour, maybe. Okay, Misaki Aso, Asao, I believe, who is the granddaughter of Asao, the folklorist machinist who studied the camera obscura and made several other copies of it. So we have a legacy heroine here. That's interesting. Does it come across as a scary game made by somebody who doesn't like scary games? I'm interested to know what he means by scary, because I would actually call Killer 7 and Silver Case scary in their own ways. I think it's scary. They use all the tricks that they have that are their strength as a studio to make the experience impactful. That's actually an interesting thing to find out, because in the Art of Grasshopper book, there is a little blurb from him about this, saying how much of a fan he is of the series, and how he was initially going to decline making this game because, as a fan of the series, he was worried that he wasn't going to sort of do it justice, but people who wanted to convince him prevailed. This prototype camera obscura. Evening, Margin. It's good to see you again. How are you? As proof of our research is entrusted to the descendants of the Aso family. Oh, Aso, not Asao. This is the first successful copy of the camera obscura that I've thought of as a strong example of my work. The first solid step toward conclusive evidence of the theory of my predecessor and I. Oh, interesting. I wonder... I mean, it is possible to have difficulty playing these games and also to like horror games. The imaginative, evocative quality of horror, that makes sense as something that would appeal to him. So that's interesting. I'll go back and look at that blurb and see if there is any kind of other hesitation outside of professional courtesy to do good by the fans in it. That's great news, Margin. I'm glad that you picked up something better. Hasn't been attempted, but my theory that images of the dead may be sealed inside the film is feasible. However, Shinto priests and shrine maidens are sensitive to spirits, and it has a strong effect on them. The prohibition of its use is expected. At least I assume it's better, based on the fact that you left one and picked up the other. Should be able to find clues about the memories I lost. So, to recap on that, Misaki and Madoka both entered this building together. Madoka kind of blacked out for a second, and Misaki was gone. And she saw Misaki walking into a room, followed her there, and then got nabbed by ghosts. Evening, Dream Bombs. Good to see you. Oh, cool. It's really interesting to me how central this nurse's station has become to every character's path. Oh, interesting. This camera obscura has a different interface, I think. Margin, I think if you were to play exactly one Fatal Frame game ever at all, I would say Fatal Frame 2 is the way to go. It hits up all the main themes. It is mechanically stronger than the first one. As with many series, the first one is sort of nailing the concept, and then Entry 2 and afterwards are refining the execution. Entry 2 really lands it very well. And if you like that, I would say go back to do Fatal Frame 1, because I think the story and atmosphere in that one are very good. Children keep playing pranks, opening and closing the door to the second floor ward. That's interesting, Taco Task Force. How do you think that this is these games are a defeat the darkness kind of game, I don't think this is as much a run and hide game, though you do run and are significantly underpowered and vulnerable otherwise. It's a password game, they call it, is becoming popular with the children. The door's release code is written somewhere, a hint is given, and they make a game of searching for it. That's in red text, so it is important. They were given a harsh scolding, and please note that the director has said to be more careful with the management office's door in the future. If the door is opened, I fear that the patients may wander away. To prevent an incident like that from happening again, if you see the code scribbled anywhere, please erase it. Oh yeah, Dreambomb. I think you would be a great person to grant clarity on this, because the oh, cool. The anecdote that that I read is that he was a huge fan of this series and almost didn't want to do the game because he wanted to do it justice. When you obtain an equipped function, it is automatically added to the camera or flashlight. Go to Menu, Camera Obscura, navigate to the bottom, and choose which function you'd like to equip. Measure and avoid do not work with the flashlight. Okay, I'm going to... I want to stop that, but I also think that equipping this thing on the camera might be a crucial part of what I'm about to do. Margin, I don't know how good the Maiden of Blackwater is. I played the demo on Wii U, but did not actually bite on the full version. I'm tempted to round out all Fatal Frame playing, though I actually have yet to finish 3, so I think I'll tackle that first. Dreambomb, have you seen the movie Moonlight Syndrome, Haunted Carnival or Evil Carnival or something? And yeah, Taco, Fatal Frame 1 is, has always been challenging for me. It's very stressful. Oh, finally. Yeah, Madoka's not doing great. $203. Twilight Syndrome Deadly Theme Park, yes. It is ridiculous. I loved it. It reminded me of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I think that if I had seen Deadly Theme Park as a child, when my imagination turned fairly campy things into truly horrific things, I think it would have scarred me. But it's super campy, and it's a lot of fun, and I recommend it if you can get your hands on it. I ordered it. It was DVD was shipped from Japan, and do I get a hint here? And I finally got it. It was clearly like a ink printer version of the DVD's cover, and it was a DVD-R in the box, and I'm like, oh. That's how available this movie is. I mean, it played fine, but it definitely is. Oh, I bet this is just. I bet it's just this thing because I can interact with it for the puzzle. Yeah, Margin. That's interesting. The notion of them not having an easy entry point. I played Fatal Frame 1 about a year after it came out. I think they developed Fatal Frame 2 in there was a very fast turnaround on the sequel for that one. Yeah, I can see Fatal Frame being kind of like Siren in that regard, where the concept doesn't show up in a whole lot of other games, nor does the execution, so maybe it's a little esoteric. I haven't thought about that before, but that's interesting. Oh, Madako Tsukimori. Room 203. Occupants as of 1970. Haraizuki, month of purity. The patient shows introverted behaviors, and we believe another patient of her age is bullying her. Please keep an eye on her. Previous to the death of Miss Hinuma, the patient was to be moved to Haibara Hospital proper. However, she confined herself in her room and refused to leave. We were required to exercise force in moving the patient. Be prepared in case of further infractions. That's Iori Aiba. Yoriko Sonohara. As there is no reaction when she looks in the mirror, she is not yet budding. However, her emotions and actions are very unstable due to the deterioration of her memories caused by the Luna Sedata syndrome. Please monitor her carefully. So this is interesting. So Luna Sedata syndrome, I mean, this is basically Moonlight syndrome, right? I don't know if it's Moonlight syndrome as it is in that game, but it is a syndrome that is about moonlight and exposure to it. So, I own Moonlight syndrome. I have not played it past the first bits, so I'm not sure how this overlaps with it. And Dreambot might be very interested to know if this sort of dissolution of identity in the moonlight is part of that. Taco Task Force. So something that's really interesting about Clock Tower 3 is that's the one where you get the bow and arrow, is that right? And you're shooting evil with it? Kazuto Amaki, patient has developed kleptomaniac tendencies. Please make a report if you find anything. Reclaiming the stolen property will anger him unnecessarily, but if you ask him politely, he won't resist. Strongly aggressive personality. Her cruel pranks often cause issues and injuries for the staff, including several knife lacerations to the nurse's ear. Ayako. Wow, just one name. Please monitor each person carefully. Okay, so yeah, what's interesting about that, I believe that game was directed by Kinji Fukusaku, and Fukusaku was the director of some of the some just very iconic Yakuza movies from the 70s and maybe early 80s. But yeah, he is a storied and just sort of canonical director of Yakuza and noir movies, and it's very interesting that he directed that. The man's got range. Ah, crap. I think this guy attacked me when I was controlling another character. I've really enjoyed talking about a lot of other things besides this game because I'm actually, in fact, very frightened by this. Like, I don't know if it's like a hamstring issue or what, but like nobody in these games can like move faster than a trot. Clock Tower 1, that's the one where it goes underground and you find the brother who's like this gigantic baby? Is remembering that right? Oh, come on, man. Ah, they were waiting. Yeah, Ghost Head is not good. I'm afraid. What am I looking for here? It's interesting that this camera does not have the blue filament. So there's my blue crystals. Picture drawn in crayon. Looks like it was drawn by a child. Interesting. A drawing of a clock. I saw this somewhere. I think I know where that clock is. I think it's in the foyer. Also, I think I see one of these dolls here. It's kind of... Yep, there it is, with the weird... I think of those as dog eyes. I tried streaming Ghost Head once, Taco Task Force. It did not go very well. It gets goofy where it means to be serious. Yeah. That might be worth playing the international version of that. And you're welcome, Dreambalm. I like to think that this stream is a summoning ritual, and that you know, that this time we summon something good for the world. Yes. If this stream is a summoning ritual, I have no idea whatever else we have spawned, and I take no responsibility for it or the havoc it has wrought. I'm really curious to see how the game adapts to the Switch, because the Switch has conventional control schemes. I know that No More Heroes in the Switch port tried to take some of the Wii control functions and apply it to the motion sensing on the Switch. But I'm curious if they do that with this, because this can be boiled down pretty easily to conventional controls. So I'm curious to see how that changes. A new patient, Ayako, admitted to room 207. Referred by Dr. Haibara. We want to exercise the utmost care to make her stay at our institution as pleasant as possible. Ayako is the one in the log who was referred to by one name alone. Faces of the moon, rather than numbers, strange gashes across the base. Misaki, I feel a strong presence. I took a picture with this camera. This camera is said to have mystical powers. And yes, Space Hamlet, all the walk cycles in this game are dainty. 8395. Alright, that's my code. I mean, I think one of the takeaways from Fatal Frame is that ghosts menace those with bad hamstrings. I say this because my hamstrings have given me trouble lately, and this is about how I jog when that's at its worst. Ah! Jesus! I hate you. Pardon me. Ah, Christ's sake. What was that code again? 8395 hints. There we go. 8395. Good. I know, right? I think that you're right. That proves the point, doesn't it? Open and close are written on these dials. Probably just the numbers. Oh, I see. Nope. I think this is neat. What did that say? Is not Misaki? Ah, for fuck's sake. There we are. Where are you at? There you are. Oh, crap. I don't believe that's the last I've actually seen of that nurse. Oh no, the stream froze. Oh, I can see it chugging a little bit. Man. Let me check the, let me check the console here. And while I'm checking this, we will get our creepy pause screen. Well, that's weird. I'm not getting any listing of dropped frames on this. Let's... There we go. I moved the chair. I will likewise refresh here. Yeah, that's baffling. Because the connection is fine. I'm not getting any notification of dropped frames through Streamlabs. Curious. Then let's try this. I'm gonna try and toggle the power switch on and off. So I'm gonna cut the stream and then bring it right back. 1 second. All right. Let's see. I am starting to wonder if it's actually Streamlabs itself. Okay, cool. Yeah, literally the only thing I did was to restart Streamlabs, so I'm wondering if maybe I should just kind of skedaddle back to conventional OBS and see if I can take some of these little widgets over that way. Oh, in the stream profile. Okay, good. But it's relieving to know that it is fixed for the time being. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Just gave it a good scraping. Oh, God. Again, you would think that open windows would make you feel like there's some hope of escape, but instead they just make you feel horribly vulnerable. Papers are soaked. I can't understand what's been written. What, I got a little chime indicating that there was an object found, but I don't see it. Oh, this way. This is where that little boy stole the mask. Swimming, no they don't. It's more a matter of hope. Man, this is the second time I've heard Madoka crying on the other side of a door. What's that radio? Oh, come on, man. Alright, we're gonna switch to... No! Do not stun lock me! Oh, no, no, no! They're right behind me! Ah! Am I supposed to just, like, get out of here? Where y'all at? Alright, that's one. Man, I don't remember them throwing two ghosts at you at the same time that early in the other ones. Whew. Maybe so, Space Hamlet. And yes, Taco Task Force, pick up Silver Cased. $8 is a steal. I've been replaying through that lately, and also playing through the 25th Ward, which is a follow-up on that story and that fictional universe done after Killer 7. This is like my favorite visual novel. I don't have many favorite visual novels. I don't play many of that genre, but this sells me on it for sure. Dream Bomb, I think that is correct. I agree with that. Oh no, my health items don't transfer between characters, but my points do. Whew. Oh, Dream Bomb, I had a question for you. I was fiddling with network stuff at the time. I don't remember if I finished asking, but so yeah, Luna Sedata syndrome is what the big malaise curse is called in this. And Luna, of course, is moon, and Sedata is sort of sleep and sedation. But the fact that it is a curse brought on by moonlight and called a syndrome suggests some sort of if not direct connection, at least some sort of callback to Moonlight Syndrome. And I wondered if you had any thoughts on how those two are similar. It's 170 for FSR? Holy crap! I'm gonna hold on to my copy for sure. Yes, I agree. On the mystery of the place's history. When you see this, I will no longer be in this world. When my mother gave birth to me, she died in order to let me live, to protect me. My father and my brother died in an accident to protect me. What kept me alive after their deaths is the memory I have of them, and the terrible guilt I feel for still being alive. The illness is robbing me of even that. The family that only exists in my memory is slowly being killed off. Can't take it anymore, living while slowly losing the memories of those people who were dearest to me. Still, the most frightening thing is the guilt I feel. I'm not afraid of killing my family once again. I will leave this world, and with what little memories I have left, as long as I am still me. So it sounds like a vow to kill herself before her identity is completely dissolved and she becomes some sort of husk. Okay, so she sees herself as responsible for killing her family because her mother died in childbirth. Her father and brother sacrificed themselves for her, so she sees herself as having killed them. And if she commits suicide before she loses her memory, then she will be killing them because she is erasing their memories deliberately, as opposed to letting the consciousness dissolve. Okay, got it. If there is a way to stream, like, if there were a way to stream a DS, Flower, Sun, and Rain would be a cool game to stream. If only so that folks who are, ah, shoot. Oh, hey, there's a noose. Let me get the trash film out here. Yeah, Dreambalm, the chapters all end with a shot of the moon in a different phase, and phases of the moon, and a lunar month calendar. The older Japanese lunar month calendar, those feature prominently in the story that unfolds. So I think that's been woven in for sure. What showed up in that photo? Woman hanging by neck. I don't... Okay, I see a little bit of distortion on the left side inside the frame, but I don't see anybody hanging by the noose. Yeah, I think there was, I hate looking into crevices with this thing. Yeah, that's weird. Ah, this is what... That is the library downstairs. And this is the room that both Ruka... Oh god, I'm gonna get attacked, aren't I? I feel like I'm gonna get attacked. Okay, cool. Time to buy some healing items. Menace me. Okay, well that definitely scans with this here. Man standing in garden. A man out in the garden, bathing in the moonlight. He stands in the garden eternally, seeking the light of the moon. A boy on the other side of the door. He's waiting for help, or maybe just for someone to play with. Or that was our kleptomaniac kid from the previous chapter. The patients climb the stairs to return to their rooms as usual. This routine is repeated like an unbroken cycle, even in death. Impatient, Natsuki Shiono waiting for her lover to visit. However, he betrayed her and she fell into the abyss of madness. Kazuto Amaki wearing a mask with an unpleasant expression. He is young but haunted by darkness beyond his innocence. One of the patients standing in the garden, Tadayuki Kaido. The moment his consciousness returned, he cried for help, but his shadow across the floor inside robbed him of all hope. Huh. The moment his consciousness returned, he cried for help, but his shadow across the floor inside robbed him of all hope. That's great. Patient lingering before the ward door. His destination is probably a sick room. All hope has been leached from his shoulders. Fuyuko Shiratsuki, a devoted nurse. Her kind disposition was broken by fear, and now as she wanders the halls half crazed. Interesting. Girl standing at the top of the stairs. In her cold eyes, a sadistic light is present. Alright, that's probably the bully. Then, for sure. Wow! 233. That is a lot. Nurse in charge of the second floor. Although she is the most experienced nurse at the facility, she is having... It looks like we lose our text there. A notable person from the mainland, he became ill while visiting Rogetsu Island and was diagnosed and treated directly by Dr. Haibara. Takashi Aiba's younger sister. She traveled with her brother to see the Rogetsu Kagura that occurs every 10 years. She was hospitalized for rapid onset Luna Sonata soon after. A patient who is afraid of disappearing. She always wanted someone to be by her side. Oh god. Kazuto Amaki. Boy hospitalized in Rugetsu Hall. He is taking something to his room in order to keep it safe. There's something more upsetting about the clarity of his features. There. Girl that went to Rugetsu Hall with Misaki. She was attacked by a ghost patient, then became a ghost herself. Madoka Tsukimori. Blooming. There we go, Space Hamlet. That's how it's supposed to line up. Losing her senses, she sought the help of a rope in her own room. By the time the deed was done, there was nobody left to find her body. Well, that's tragic. All right. Interesting. 3. Can spend money to get 3 of them. Alright, let's heal up. And buy 1 more. Oh no, I didn't intend to do that. Well, that's fine. Onward then. It's interesting how these character chapters are structured, because each character that I take control of, the second or third destination in their level is the last destination of the previous character's level. This thing's still... No, I've already cleared that. Ah. Let's see, can I power this thing up any? 13. Reload, capacity. Speed is what I want. Speed and power. There you are. Run, 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 run! There you are. Whew. Oh, my God. They are good faces on these ghosts. The Grasshopper art book has some cool concepts of that. They paid special attention to those. Okay, yes. I wonder how they do reflections in these games. Okay. So, there's the nurse station, there's the hall, there's the room. Okay. Mirror selfie? I wonder... Are those handprints developing? I mean, maybe they're hand-printy, but they're not in response to that. Yeah, no, the camera design is something they also paid a lot of attention to. All right. Various facial expressions are lined up. The names are below each mask. Names are probably the names of the mask maker. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh no. So who was that? Woman standing in front of a mask placed in the archives. Is she trying to tell us something? Oh, I gotta go over there, don't I? Okay. Black mask fragment, left eye. Something like a piece of wood fell. Notes about a black mask. On this island, there is a Kagura island. There is a Kagura during the lunar eclipse. On the day of the lunar eclipse, the minds of the living lean towards death, and the souls of the dead come forth from the gate of the underworld. The moon symbolizes the soul on this island, and it is thought that the lunar eclipse eats away at the soul. So, Dreambalm, that is, yeah, that's Moonlight Syndrome right there, for sure. In the literature I read, it mentioned a mask called the Mask of the Lunar Eclipse that was once used for the festival on this island. There is some very old fragmented literature about the black mask that caused the disaster, the Day Without Suffering, long ago. I love that the Day Without Suffering sounds like such a positive thing, right? But it's it is disastrous here, and that's intriguing. So, like, knowing how many of the Suda games sort of emphasize this sort of cyclical history with balancing opposites, fighting each other and recurring as recurring enemies and that sort of thing. Like the Day Without Suffering would imply like an end to all that. So like an end to history, an end to time, an end to existence. That suffering, this sort of like back and forth between those two forces, like that's what makes up life. So the opposite of that is without suffering, and that's interesting. Interesting. Space, environmental space. Yeah. Huh. Well, I mean, there's also a really strong overlap between the way that the Heaven Smiles approach you and attack you, and the way the ghosts in every Fatal Frame do, right? It's all of a slow creep, a slow moving toward you, and then a grab. So it's like the exact same enemy type. I tried asking the head of an influential island family about it, but he wouldn't tell me anything, and his facial expression was one of terrible fright. On this island, touching that mask is considered serious taboo. Even though it's risky to offend the islanders, I want to see it with my own eyes to examine it myself. Perhaps it is a powerful clue which will lead to the other world. Oh, Dr. Asso, your ambitions. Can I leave now, please? Like, it's interesting because I think of space in Killer 7 as being very wide and very open, as opposed to the sort of like very narrow, claustrophobic, collapsed building hall vibe of this. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the one thing that would deflate the tension of this game quite nicely would be Con Smith. I mean, if every single one of these characters had a catchphrase like Garcian's son of a bitch. Greg Eagle's amazing voiceover. Yeah, Dream Bomb, I attributed a lot of that to Shinji Mikami influencing. And I kind of feel like the lock and key puzzle, I'm saving because I'm a coward. Lock and key puzzle design of that was sort of a very Mikami influence. It was a result of a Mikami influence, but a Suda take on it where, like, the specific objects themselves are just sort of abstracted and arbitrary. Come on, man. I already did this. Am I gonna get jumped in this room again? I am gonna get... How are you still here? Ah! Okay. Is she saying Madoka? Whew. Okay. You know, it's an environmental sound, this buzz thing, but it's very tension, right? Ratcheting. Was this optional? I mean, I guess it's on me to go investigate every single buzzing sound I hear in a haunted mental hospital. Can't really blame anyone for that choice, can I? Just a second here. Cool. Oh man, Grasshopper's artist had a field day with this. There's an old diary covered in dust. Lifting it leaves a clean spot on the table. Evening. It's bedtime, but if I can't sleep, I start to get scared. It's dark. I can see my face in the window. When I see my face in the window, it looks strange. My eyes look strange. My nose looks strange. My mouth looks strange. My head feels strange. I want to get rid of Ayako, but if I do, I feel like I'll lose something. That's why I hope I can sleep tonight. Dear Madoka, how are you? Have you decided on a name for the canary I gave you? I'm sorry for leaving you all alone leaving you alone all the time, but I'm always thinking about you. Take the crayons with you, okay? You like drawing pictures, so I'm sure it will make you happy. The doctor would also like it. He says that drawing pictures will help you get better, so please draw. I think that it's very frightening that you are forgetting so many things, but Madoka, you are from the Tsukimori family, so the moon will always protect you. Which I believe is a reference to the fact that the first part of that name is Ski, which means moon. That is why there is no need to worry. Do exactly as Dr. Haibara says. Be a good girl for mother. I'll come and check up on you again soon. Love, your mother. The your is interesting. Oh no. Oh no, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Oh, I don't like it. Here. Oh, after all that, I'm not gonna follow through with it? Yeah, you're right. She has the benefit of dramatic necessity. Oh, cool. Oh, wait. Is that actually her? So what did I just get a picture of? A young Madoka collapsed on the floor. It seems familiar, but the memory is faint. A girl watching from the top of the stairs. A vicious atmosphere emanates from her, and her cold eyes search for new playthings. Sitting on the bed, thinking of her lost memories, is she patiently waiting for Misaki to return to her? So I'm just gonna walk over here and grab this real fast. Ah! Jesus! I suppose that's what I get. Did I lose any health from that? Not much. Okay, hi Madoka. Hi Misaki. Or Madoka, or who are you? Ghost friend. An old nurse's note fell. It seems to be a regular report. Today's report. It's about Ayako from room 207 again. Around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I heard Madoka crying and hurried over to her. Her pet canary had had its head cut off with scissors. Ugh! Ayako stood there holding the bloodied scissors. It was obvious what she had done. She just kept laughing despite our scolding. It was as though she had no second thoughts about it. I mean, killing an innocent bird that everybody loves is pretty red flag. This is our villain right here. Her mischief is going too far, or one of them anyway. It's hard for a single sadist to be considered the villain in a cursed island. Her mischief is going too far. Mischief. And it's not just the inability to distinguish right from wrong. Beginning with Madoka, I'm beginning to worry that the influence of Ayako is having on the other children isn't good. Even with the director involved, I haven't been able to devise an effective treatment for her. Oh my. That's somewhat unsettling. Whew. Type 61 film, that's great. Okay, ghost list. Merciless brutality shows on her innocent face. It grows inside of her. What will that seed bloom into? Oh god. What time are we at here? 10:44. Okay, I can proceed a little bit further in this. I think this tension is actually starting to kind of like bunch up the muscles in my shoulders and back a little too much, so I might want to do a palate cleanser here. Oh, cool. Okay. Charge the patients of this ward, terrified of having her mind destroyed by the strange sickness. Ayako in the process of receiving special treatment. She likes nothing more than to play with and destroy her toys. It's pretty bleak. It's also the audio design is pretty intense. Yeah, I think I can get behind that. So yeah, as a matter of fact, I think that might be what, oh no, I'm gonna see what's down this hall. I'm gonna see what's down this hall, then I'm gonna save. Thing is, given how much health I have, and given the film that I've got, I'm actually really not that much in danger. Like, I'm... The hell is this? Oh, cool. No! I had just at that moment changed my mind about dealing with any of this now. And I was gonna go save, but here we are. Cool. Whew. I gotta tell you, this time through, playing this game is so much easier now that I know that there's a lock on. Yeah, Taco, I was actually wondering that. One of the things that makes this kind of aesthetically compelling is that there's a low-res quality to a lot of this, the sort of gauzy feel that a lot of textures get in Wii games is part of this game's aesthetic, and I'm curious to know if that'll carry over. Power low. Alright. So this seems like normal film, and I absolutely don't want to deal with this ghost child. So... Jesus. Is this adult Ayako? Alright, so this is Madoka's room. Whew! Yeah, there's our moon motif, as it is slowly being chewed away by the shadow. Whew, my god. Yes, I agree. Very attuned. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to watch the opening of this next chapter and look at the recap of the chapter we just played because there's hidden information in there. Then I'm going to do a palette cleanser from Arrest of a Stone Buddha. Oh, this dude, he's rad. I mean, it is, oh, that's interesting. You can tell this is a different time because the moon is in a different phase, and they use that as a storytelling element. Oh yeah, so this is actually a pretty cool Suda thing because it's a Fatal Frame Ghost game, and amid all the very waif-like, fragile leads, he throws a hard-boiled detective. Not quite a Tetsuo Kusabi or Dan Smith, but a detective nonetheless. All right, let's see. What does this have to? What do we have to read here? Here we go. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, Resonance. While searching Rogetsu Hall, Misaki meets a girl in black clothes whom she has met before in dreams. Come back to Rogetsu Island. Misaki wants to know more about her connection to this girl. Led by the girl's image, Misaki arrives at a room. 10 years ago, this was Madoka's hospital room. She knew all of the girls involved that were kidnapped, who were hospitalized in the institute or visited it regularly. They came to be treated for an endemic disease, the Luna Sedata syndrome. This font is very blurry. Caught up in memories, she does not notice that she's been separated from Madoka. Madoka, where is Madoka? Okay, so Misaki and Madoka came to this hospital together. She got spirited away into memories? And she's wandering around while Madoka goes off and gets cursed? Huh. In a Fatal Frame game, the UI is my safe haven. A girl who finds pleasure in breaking her toys. She is aiming at the new plaything that just entered her room. Da-da-dun! Yeah, even the blur and the frame rate here, Choshiro, my notebook, how did it get here, is atmospheric and appropriate to the Wii. Kirishima's notebook, a newspaper clipping is inside. Missing girls found safely. Late last night, 5 girls who went missing 2 weeks ago were found and taken into protective custody. Evening Arcs, good to see you. The girls were identified as follows: all age 7, Misaki, Marie, Madoka, Tomoe, Ruka. The incident occurred on the same day as the Rugetsu Kagura dance, and a series of mysterious incidents. The girls' disappearances had attracted some attention. They were placed in protective custody yesterday at around 11 p.m. in Amakori Bay Police Station. Officer Choshiro Kirishima found the 5 girls on the premises of Haibara Hospital, and their identities were confirmed. So that's this guy here. He found the girls, and he found the girls who had been kidnapped and placed here, and he's the one who got them out of here. They led their lives on the mainland, and now they've all come back. And now he is here too. Shows data obtained while advancing in the game. You may review this data at any time. Is this a Kirishima specific thing? Choshiro is the tape recorder I used in my investigation. Choshiro. It contains a tape recording about the incident. What an interesting time for a title card. Kidnapping case summary added. Is it in record? Oh, okay. This records menu is doing a whole lot more lifting than the name suggests. Because this is definitely integral to his story. Yu Haibara, age 27, occupation doctor, director of the Tokyo Clinic, owns Haibara Clinic Tokyo, killed 3 patients for illegal research, wanted by the police, returned for the Rugetsu Kagura ritual. Son of director Haibara, influential family, invested large amounts of money in Rugetsu's economy. It's not a Suda game unless there's unless there is civic structure involved. And those who invest in it. 53, doctor. Okay, so this is the dad doctor who owns this place. Administrator of Haibara Hospital in Rugetsu Hall. Political leader on Rugetsu Island. Wealthy and influential. Supports many Rugetsu operations. Could he be hiding a crime? Kidnapped girls found in Haibara Hospital's basement. No sign of his participation. One of the workers who expanded the basement confessed to kidnapping in his last will. His suicide was too convenient. Ruka. She was our second playable character. Age 17, went missing on the evening of the Rugetsu Kagura dance. Later found in the basement of Haibara Hospital. Was extremely confused upon rescue. Memory loss was present, though not severe. Took time for her to recover. She came to the island alone, following a friend. Sayaka requested a search and later care for her daughter. I'm really interested that so much of the story is taking place in text and menus. I feel like this is a much less common thing to do right now. And also less common in Killer 7, which, as Dreamball mentioned, was the release that got attention drawn to Suda to make this game. So this is a very different storytelling delivery vehicle that almost feels like it takes takes advantage of the sort of visual novel chops that show up in the silver case. It's just got that volume of text. Sayaka Minazuki. Client. Client requested that her daughter Ruka is found and protected. Her condition is stable, but it's unknown if it will change. I know her from the kidnapping case 10 years ago. The request was the start of my search for Ruka. Yet I'm still searching. Alright, so... yeah, her mom knows that Ruka went back to the island, so she hired this guy because he has a history with the case and will go back and get the job done. The night of the Rugetsu Kagura dance, 5 girls went missing. The Lunar Eclipse Hall had already been closed when the girls disappeared. Not the first to disappear on the night of the Kagura. The people on the island feared that they had not been kidnapped but were taken to the moon. The girls were later found in underneath Haibara Hospital. An anonymous phone call began the investigation. Alright. So this would have been back years ago. Traditionally a secluded island, Rugetsu Hall was then built as a sanatorium. The Rugetsu Kagura was later opened to the public and tourists, and its existence was acknowledged in Japan at large. Interesting that it's interesting that the existence of a mental hospital on what I assume is a somewhat obscure little island among many islands would have that kind of renown. Also, again, it's really interesting. This is the only Fatal Frame game that I can think of where the location is like known and has an economy and a tourism bureau. It's a modern world setting. Yo Haibara's father, Shigeru Haibara, managed the only hospital specialized in treatment for Luna Sedata syndrome. Specific to Rugetsu Island, this is the Luna Sedata, the Moonlight Syndrome. Common symptoms: memory loss, nighttime wandering, dementia, hallucinations. Definitely the Moonlight Syndrome from the other game. Luna Sedata was formerly known as moonwalking, as affected people seek out the moon. Moonlight calms their behavior but can cause suicides. If left untreated, severe dementia, cardiac arrests, and suicide. There is no known cure, and treatments are experimental at best. Alright. Catches us up. Almost. Yeah! Rogue cop with a nemesis. Rogue detective rings better. Yeah, okay, so yeah, this is a detective with a sense of justice that exceeds the limits of his occupation. And yes, Taco Task Force, I think that is correct. No, you cannot go to Homicidal Ghost Island and complain about the homicidal ghosts. At that point, you're just gentrifying. I hope that this guy's walking speed is not slower because of a dainty walk, but because of a swagger. Spirit Stone flashlight. Oh, I remember this! This kicks ass! Spirit Stone flashlight. Soothes spirits using the light radiated by spirit stones. Press the B button to ready. When it's ready to say, press the A button. Release to discharge. Hold the A button longer and the area of the discharge will grow. It's basically a shotgun for ghosts. Like, Suda took Fatal Frame and gave it a gun. Where you at, Ghostness? Like, a super stylized gun, no doubt. But, this rules. That's so cathartic after all the other Fatal Frame, like, the timidity of sort of like hiding behind a camera and the awkward mobility. It's very refreshing. Yeah, Kirishima rules. You're right, Hark. Well, I also like that this light is not hurting them. This is soothing them. This is soothing them with the power of the moon and the spirit stones. Or at least soothing them with the power of the spirit stones. It just happens to take the form of a projection of the moon. Yes, Space Hamlet, you play as an adult male in Fatal Frame 3. The difference is in Fatal Frame 3, your guy lacks the sort of precog second sight abilities of the female playable characters. And as a result, whenever he is in the ghostly environments, he mostly runs around and hides. His is the stealth section. He's also crushingly the slowest out of all of them. So that's kind of his gameplay segment. Kirishima is like, he's speedy. He's got a ghost gun flashlight, and he's got the most stamina. Oh yeah, that's right. You play as Masaka? Yeah, the girl's brother. Yes. Yes, I can see that. Dreambomb, when you say Kirishima is Suda's chapters 2, do you mean that different chapters were written by different people, and this is one of his, or is that, am I misreading that? Even Haibara's here. Is he somehow responsible for all this? The ghost left something behind. Develop. Switch. I see. Well, I mean, yeah, the fact that this is a noir detective showing up to solve a psycho-spiritual crime is one of the most pseudo things, and I'm here for it. Wait, what? Really? I didn't know that. What an interesting collaboration method. The lens will take non-damaging photographs. Oh, I see. So this gives me the power to use this like a camera. So I have a camera that can be used as a gun, and now I have a flashlight I have a flashlight gun that can be used as a camera. This is great. Switch between multiple power-up lenses. Okay. Yeah, how could you even upgrade that? That's really interesting that was part of the development process. The brief interview notes in the Art of Grasshopper suggests a more amiable collaboration. So that's funny. Regarding Luna Sedata syndrome patients, please take notes on the nighttime wandering habit of patients. Contact me today to confirm the suspected patterns so that we have reliable information. On the night of the full moon, close and bar the doors. I also request a strengthening of patrol around the wards. Oh, cool. I don't have to hold down B to, Yeah, Kirishima can run. Whew. All right. Cool. Well, that puts us in a pretty good place to give this a rest for tonight. What I'm gonna do, I still want that palette cleanser, so I want to play through one level of a game that I played and beat. It's about a 4-hour experience. It's called Arrest of a Stone Buddha, which, on the note of noir noir gun action, let's see. You are a former Yakuza hitman living in Paris in the 1970s, and the game switches between wandering the streets of Paris, sort of like struggling with ennui and the pointlessness of your existence, and then going into these high adrenaline combat, like gunfight scenarios where then you're truly alive, and it just swings back and forth between the adrenaline and the drop. So I want to do one. I want to do one of those just to sort of get the this out of my system, because it's man, it'll make your shoulders tense up. It's called Arrest of a Stone Buddha, and yeah, like I said, it's a 4-hour adventure game. It's I think it's really cool, and yeah, I'm gonna show that. So give me just 1 second. Music on that's really good too. All right, so. See if we can move this around. And What do we have? Oh, right. I need to do something with the switch to get that to run. Okay, give me 1 second. Space Hamlet, the meaning of that title is actually very confusing to me. I don't know what it means. At all. There we go. So... Mansion's a good one, and normal. Yeah, it's got really great design. Oh, let me switch the streaming profile too, because the aspect ratio on this is different. There we go. So this is skipping the I've already beaten this, so this is skipping the plot parts where you're wandering around the streets of Paris with your demons, and this is just the combat portion. Let's see if my fingers remember how to do this. Can I take my jacket? No, I can't take my jacket. Like, it's ridiculous. So, like, the gameplay on this is, you never miss a shot, and you're just besieged by, it's like Muso quality levels of enemies. And, you don't have any gun. You had a gun with exactly one bullet of your own at the start, and we'll get clearer visuals in a second. This is just the way this starts. But you basically let some of your assailants get close enough to you to where you can break their arms and steal their guns. Actually, let me choose a different level because I actually can't see what's going on there. It's much better to do that when you're a little warmed up. Church, hotel. Hotel! That's a good one. Yep. I think that's fair. Hi. Oh, say hello. Yeah. Oh, yes. Can also put on my shades and go to work. So yeah, every mission starts with your assassination, so it's entirely the cooldown. And even though you are shooting hordes of enemies running towards you, there actually is strategy to it. If you hold up on your controller, you shoot rapidly, so you can mow through a bunch of them. You are going to be targeted by some of them, who will stop before they get to you to try to shoot you. And if you press down while firing, you'll crouch, and then you'll target only the ones who are shooting at you. So if you find yourself surrounded by assailants at a distance, you can focus on them that way. So yeah, there's a little bit of strategy to the twitchiness. Also, your guy cannot be motivated to move anything faster than this saunter. It's not because he's too cool to, it's because he's depressed. Like, this is his life, and he knows that. And it's not that great. And a great soundtrack. Just this absurd body count. There's a game called Renegade? Not Renegade, Vigilante. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up where you're basically being besieged by enemies at this pace. Except you're, you know, punching them instead of shooting them. And this is a neat variation on that idea. Because the Twitch gameplay is very different. Kind of the mindset is managing this very slow, gradual progression and your resources and trying to not be in a hurry like your character isn't. And then you're done. Yeah, your character Amscray's in a car there. The other ones, the other missions ends with a sort of different dramatic sort of beat. Like, there's this one where you just have had this massive gunfight and you're the victor in like a bus station, so your guy just sits down on a bench and waits for the bus to come. So public transit is not out of the question if you're this sort of like mass murdering assassin. But yeah, so that helps get the ghost fear out of me. And thank you everybody for coming by, and I am going to do more Fatal Frame 4 with detective friend on Wednesday of next week. Very exciting. Going to pick up chapter 3, and hopefully we'll have fewer stream hiccups. We never do, but we can always hope. So thanks for coming out, and Dream Bomb, thank you so much for all of the development notes on Fatal Frame. That's really useful in a game that is as little known as this. So, and also for somebody who is a major Grasshopper fan, it's welcome on that front as well. So yeah, have a great night.